Hi, I'm Ben Wood. I'm a Staff Wellbeing Officer at NUH in the Staff Wellbeing team.
Hello, and I'm Jenny Good, and I also work in the Staff Wellbeing team as a Staff Wellbeing Officer. So hello and welcome to this quick session on how to look after your wellbeing at NUH. We would normally deliver this as an interactive session, but we've obviously kind of altered it slightly to make it possible to do as an online session. We would really recommend that at the points where we encourage you to stop and take a moment to reflect, that you use the opportunity to ensure that you get the maximum benefit from this session. So why do we have staff wellbeing at NUH? So the Staff Wellbeing Programme was initially set up in 2005 with the main focus being getting staff more physically active. Over the past 15 years, we've worked really hard to get it to where it is today. It's currently one of the longest running and largest staff wellbeing programmes in England, with a dedicated staff wellbeing team which has expanded over recent years. Our main focus is to encourage staff at NUH to look after your physical and mental wellbeing. We offer a range of support services for staff. However, we feel really passionate about staff taking responsibility for their own wellbeing and us supporting you to do that. Simon Stevens has recently said that having a staff wellbeing programme in the NHS is an essential and not just a nice to have. We know it can be tough out there, but we are here to support staff as best we can and know that when our staff are well and healthy, our patient care improves. So what are the objectives from the session today? So this session will highlight some of the key issues that affect staff wellbeing. This session will also help you to reflect on why your health and wellbeing is important. We'll get you to consider the main barriers to achieving workplace wellness. Consider ways to maintain or improve your own mental and physical health at work, and consider what you can do within your department to improve workplace wellness.
So why is wellbeing important? At this point, we're going to encourage you to pause the video for 2 minutes and take a moment to think about why is your health and wellbeing important, and who does your health and wellbeing affect? So we hope that you found it helpful to stop for a moment and think about your own well-being. Clearly, taking care of yourself is very important. We are sure that most of you want to live a full and happy life, both in and outside of work. When we are well both physically and mentally, we are more likely to be happy and content with what's going on around us. We also know that it's important to look after your well-being, as research has shown that when we are well, we perform our jobs better. Obviously, in a hospital setting, this is very important, as our united goal is to provide the best patient care possible. We know that when we are all well at work, it has a direct link on patient care and giving our patients the best possible outcome. It is also important, as I'm sure many of you want to feel satisfied in your role, no matter what it is. So who does your well-being affect? Yourself is the main one here. Well, you are so busy taking care of others, it can be easy to forget about yourself. However, you have to remember that looking after yourself is a priority and needs to come first. If you don't take care of yourself, it will affect your friends and family, your colleagues, and your patients. So physical well-being. So how is our physical well-being affected at work? These are some of the most common themes that come up when we are talking to staff. They may not all apply to you, but I'm sure you can relate to at least one or two. It's also important to note that some of these are probably more common working in the NHS, but some will apply to a lot of different job settings. So firstly, fatigue can be a very common issue. This is especially evident in shift workers, both those who do long shifts as well as those who do night shifts. It can also be heightened if you're doing a lot of long shifts back to back and not having enough time to recover in between. Then we know that musculoskeletal issues are very common, both for those employees who are on their feet for a long time and those who are desk-based and sitting for prolonged periods. We would encourage to move around as much as possible at work and take care of your work posture and moving and handling procedures. When working long hours, it can be easy to forget about the importance of our diet and eating well. It's very easy in whatever role you are doing to not take your lunch break. We want to stress at this point that it is everybody's responsibility to take their lunch break to ensure that you get that much needed rest. We want NUH to have a culture where we are encouraging of taking others and their lunch break too, as everyone values the importance of it, rather than feeling like they have to work through it, as there's too much to do. If you have lots of shifts coming up, then plan your meals and snacks in advance and batch cook healthy meals to bring to work rather than grabbing food as and when you can, as this is more likely to be unhealthy food. When we carry out our health checks, we are able to check hydration levels, and it is more common than not that we see staff who are very dehydrated. You are allowed to drink on the wards as long as water bottles are kept in a tidy place and not directly in a clinical area. You should be aiming for at least 6 to 8 glasses of water in a day, and by doing so you will have increased concentration levels and less likely to feel fatigue or suffer from headaches. We are currently in the process of finalising a staff hydration policy, which will be coming out later this year. Sleep is also a common issue that we know is affected, especially for those who work shifts. Try and create a positive sleep environment where you can, by reducing screen time before sleep, having wind down time, which includes things like taking a bath or reading a book before bed, and ensuring you get some physical activity into your day. Physical well-being at NUH. So we've split these up into what are still available during COVID-19 and what will be available when the government guidelines allow us to reintroduce them. So still available at the moment are the Cycle to Work scheme and bike compounds and changing facilities, doctor bike servicing, weight management programs and lunchtime seminars, menopause workshops, staff physio service, lifestyle advice on the Health Assured website, and we're still running pedometer challenges, including the Great NUH Walk-Off. Available when government guidelines allow are Couch to 5K courses, fitness classes at QMC and City, gym facilities at QMC, wellbeing therapies, including massages and a range of beauty treatments, and Know Your Numbers health checks, all staff roadshows and local department events.
So mental well-being is one of the biggest reasons why staff go off sick at NUH. It's important to say at this stage that not everyone will go off sick because work has caused them stress. There can be a range of influences such as home life, family worry, financial stress that can impact someone's mental well-being. Also, what causes stress for one person may not affect the other person in the same way. We are all individuals and will react and respond to situations on an individual basis based on personality and the psychosocial factors we are experiencing at that time. However, these are the most common themes as to how work has the potential to influence our mental well-being. So in terms of stress, that can be affected by our workload, by staff shortages, the lack of breaks, conflict with colleagues. We can also suffer anxiety about going to work and being worried about our performance. Burnout can happen when we're working relentlessly and doing and not giving ourselves time to recover, both physically and mentally. However, it's also important to note that there are positive ways in which work can impact on our mental well-being. So having routine and structure to our week, having a purpose, a sense of contentment and pride in the work that we do, and the social aspect of coming to work can all be really helpful for many people if they're struggling with mental health. So we've got lots of support available at NUH for supporting our staff around mental health. Here are some of the offers that we have available to staff. So we regularly run coping with stress and building resilience workshops. We run an 8-week mindfulness course. We do a mindful eating workshop. Let's Talk Mental Health workshop. We've got lots of information and support on the mental health section of our staff wellbeing website. We deliver Leading a Healthy Workforce training for managers, and that's about how to support staff going through mental health issues. There's also our EAP service called Health Assured, This is available 24/7 and it's a confidential support service. They do sessions online or on the phone, and they can offer up to 6 sessions of counselling absolutely free. And the number is on the screen there, so it might be worth taking a note of that now, just in case yourself or a colleague may need it in the future. Neighbour is also our financial wellbeing support service. They can offer a range of advice on different financial issues, as well as offering low interest loans which come out of your salary on a monthly basis. We also have quiet spaces at both campuses. There's the chaplaincy team who are there to provide a listening ear. There's also the bereavement drop-in sessions, which aren't currently running because of COVID, but I think they will be running again in the future. And also, it's important that to take care of your mental well-being, we really encourage you to take part in physical activity, as the two do interlink very closely together. So we've also got lots of extra support available at the moment due to the COVID-19. These are all different apps which are available to staff, and they're currently free. So we'd really encourage you to research each of them and see if there's one which you may find really helpful. So Headspace is a mindfulness meditation app. Unmind offers online mental health support. Sleepio is an effective online CBT program to help with quality of sleep. Daylight is an app that will teach you about ways to manage negative emotions and how to deal with worry and anxiety. There's also a special 24/7 Nottinghamshire mental health crisis line, and that's for anybody within Nottingham to call. And also, if you have been affected by grief or bereavement, there is also a 24-hour number there, which is provided by the Nottinghamshire Hospice.
So what are the barriers to looking after our physical and mental health at work? These are some of the most common things that we hear from staff who are struggling to look after themselves. Firstly, many of you are in roles which are emotionally challenging and go through emotional stress on a daily basis. It's really important that you have some support mechanisms in place to help you cope with this. They will look different for everybody, and in a moment we are going to give you the opportunity to think about what you can do practically to look after yourself better and to put coping strategies in place. We know that at times it may seem inevitable that your body will go through physical stress, especially if you are in a role moving lots of patients' equipment on a daily basis. As previously mentioned, it's really important to follow the procedures correctly and ensure that you are exercising outside of work to strengthen yourself physically if you know you're working in this kind of environment. We work in an ever-changing NHS. The last few months have certainly demonstrated that. We are constantly faced with a changing environment where we face new financial pressures, targets and deadlines on a daily basis. This can make it difficult to take time to take a break mentally and switch off from work. We also know that lots of you end up working through your breaks or do hours outside your contracted hours, which can limit the time you have to take to yourself.
Okay, so in the staff wellbeing team, we often refer to the oxygen mask analogy. And for those of you who've been in an aeroplane, you probably remember when they do the safety video that you are told to put on your oxygen mask first before helping out others. And our well-being should be exactly the same thing. We need to look after ourselves physically and mentally first before we can help others. We can't give if we haven't got enough oxygen ourselves. And remember that self-care isn't selfish. In the caring roles which many of you have, it seems natural to help others before yourself. And we often hear staff say that it feels selfish to take time to yourself when you know that others need help. But you do have to be kind to yourself too, and remember that you'll be much more efficient in doing so. So moving forward from this session, we want you to feel more equipped to be able to look after your physical and mental well-being. At this point, we really want to encourage you again to pause the video and take a few minutes to consider these questions. So the questions are, what am I like when I'm feeling well? What changes do I notice when stress starts to take hold? What can I do to help me stay well? And if I notice I'm really struggling with stress or my physical or mental health, what should I do? And if you find it would help, please make a note of your answers or write them down somewhere and see it as your personal wellbeing plan that you can refer back to if and when that's necessary. So we're going to encourage you to pause for a moment now. So hopefully you found that really helpful, and you feel like you've got some more information on what support is available at NUH, and you feel better equipped to be aware of what impacts your wellbeing physically and mentally. So thank you for listening to us. If you've got any questions about any of the support services available, or you need some kind of guidance, maybe doing a personal support plan, then please do contact us. Our email address is staffwellbeing@nuh.nhs.uk. You can also follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Lots of the activities that we do, we promote via social media. So please have a look on there if you do have access to those. And you can call us anytime on extension 84771. Thank you very much. Bye.